I sometimes think that Ron DeSantis is single-handedly trying to bring America back to the normal that once was. He keeps doing things as Florida governor. He keeps signing bills as Florida governor that keep bringing things back just a little bit. Like, whoa, hold on. Let's turn that clock back a little bit. And that is no different than now. He has just signed a bill, and oh my gosh, people are losing their minds over this. And it's funny because of the way the bill's worded, they're going to have real problems with it. But he has just signed a bill to require all schools in the Florida public education system to have a 1 to 2 minute moment of silence every single day at the beginning of the day. And you can already imagine what is making people so mad about this. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's done excellently. Let's see what's going on here. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer. I'm also a legal and political commentator on YouTube and on Odyssey. Wherever you're watching, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. Don't miss any videos. Okay, let's take a look at this. Florida governor signs new bill requiring K through 12 public schools to hold moment of silence each day. This isn't a big deal. This isn't a big deal at all. But it's a really, really big deal for some people because you know what it is. They're requiring prayer in schools. This religious oppression. Oh my God. Some kid might take a second and stop being indoctrinated for just a moment. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They're going to turn to God. Stop it. All K through 12 public schools in Florida will hold a moment of silence at the start of the day starting next school year, according to a bill signed into law Monday by Governor Ron DeSantis. According to the law, which was House Bill 529 in the Florida legislature, principals of each public school shall require teachers in first period classrooms in all grades to set aside at least 1 minute, but not more than 2 minutes daily, for the moment of silence. Teachers may not make suggestions as to the nature of any reflection that a student may engage in during the moment of silence, the law states. And this is critical. The state cannot require kids to pray. They can't advocate a particular type of prayer or worship of a particular deity or non-worship of a particular deity over anything else. That's not the state's job. However, the state can set aside time in which children can choose voluntarily to engage in their own private religious activity if they want to, or if they want to draw, they can draw. If they want to just sleep, they can sleep. They can do whatever they want. It's just a moment of silence. A period of silent prayer or meditation was optional for school districts in the state prior to the new law. So that is no longer optional. It is now a thing, but it's not required to be prayer or meditation. Quote, Ron DeSantis. Gotta love this guy. It's important to be able to provide each student the ability every day to reflect and be able to pray as they see fit, the Republican governor said before signing the bill at the Shul of Bal Harbor in Surfside, Florida. The idea that you can just push God out of every institution and be successful, I'm sorry, our founding fathers did not believe that. Those comments, not going to make people happy. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between what was intended with the First Amendment and what has been going on with the First Amendment. The First Amendment has been used as a bludgeon to kick God out of public institutions. That's not actually what the First Amendment was for. And that whole wall of separation line that you won't find in the text of the Constitution, you know, that separation of church and state, which does not actually exist in the First Amendment and almost certainly did not exist in the minds of the founders back when every single state had a state mandated religion and all of that stuff. All of that language came much, much later. It was never intended to separate the church from the state. That was not the intention. The intention was to prevent at the time of the founding, the federal government from imposing a federal religion. That was the goal. That was the intent of the First Amendment as it applied to the founding era states, that the federal government would not impose a religious requirement upon the citizenry, upon the states, upon politicians. No religious tests. Couldn't do that stuff. But it did not mean that God was pushed out of schools, pushed out of government buildings, that no mention of a deity or higher power could be heard, or that it would, somehow destroy the lives of the citizenry. That was not it. And that's where it seems like DeSantis is just rolling things back just a little bit. Just peel it back. Give them the option. If they want to pray here, they can pray. That's all. Who would be mad about this? The bill was sponsored by Republican State Rep Randy Fine and passed the State House with a vote of 94 to 24 in March and the Senate in 32 to 6 in April. The requirement goes into effect July 1st. Opponents of the legislation, why are you opposed to it? Why? Criticized the bill as requiring prayer in schools, including Democrat State Rep Omari Hardy, who voted against the bill. The Republican who sponsored the bill said it wasn't about prayer in school. Of course it was, Hardy tweeted Monday. But when you question their motives or their honesty, it's called a personal attack and deemed out of order. No, the Republicans lie, and we need to call them on it every time. Why would you be opposed to this? Give each kid a minute or two in the morning to calm down, reflect, to think about their day. And if they want to, pray. Don't force them to pray. Don't tell them who to pray to. Don't do any of that. There's nothing wrong with this bill, but they're so scared. Why are they so scared of the notion that a child might have a belief? Why are they so scared that a child may look somewhere other than the state inside their state-run institution? These are statists. And at the end of the day, the state is their God, and they proselytize more than anybody else on the planet. In January 2020, the Trump administration announced it was updating federal guidance for prayer in public schools and other initiatives aimed at protecting religious freedom, also drawing criticism from nonprofit groups, including the Freedom from Religion Foundation and American Atheists. And frankly, they can criticize all they want. DeSantis on Monday also emphasized initiatives to support the Jewish community in Florida, including security funding for the state's Jewish day schools, $1.35 million for the Florida Holocaust Museum in St. Petersburg, $400,000 for the Holocaust Memorial in Miami Beach, $100,000 for the Holocaust Task Force, and others. He also signed into law HB 805 that ensures faith-based volunteer ambulance services can operate. So there you go. There's Ron DeSantis making the liberals in Florida very, very unreasonably angry at a 1-minute break for students to take a moment. That's it. That's all it is. That's too much, though, because that student for 1 to 2 minutes might not think the state is their God. And that is the biggest affront to any leftist on the planet. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, peace. Peace.